Teachers across America, what is our problem? Our kids hate testing, but even more so, they are tired and bored of learning the same way every day. Yes, I'm talking to you. My name is Signe Olson, aspiring middle school teacher, and I'm asking you to put down the white marker and pick up a Kolb's Learning Style Inventory, and let's figure out where our students can succeed together. Today I'm going to be talking to you about different learning styles. I'm going to preview various learning styles. Then I'm going to relate those learning styles to how to properly engage your student in the classroom and on their classwork based on their individual learning style. And finally, I will explain how this will improve the current test scores and classroom participation. So let's begin with the basics. Learning styles. Every student is an individual and therefore has their own personal needs both mentally and physically. Many learning tests have been conducted to analyze the different learning styles. They have found that there are 7 different learning styles. These include visual, oral, verbal, physical, logical, social, and solitary. Most of those speak for themselves, but to clarify a few, oral is an auditory learner through music and sound, and solitary learners learn best by themselves. The Kolb learning style, a test conducted by Kolb himself, analyzes these learning styles in a more in-depth way. The 4 basic learning styles that he established are the diverging, the assimilating, the converging, and the accommodating. Divergent learners like to brainstorm. Their approach to situations is to observe rather than to take action. They learn best with logic or instruction with constructive feedback to know that they are on task. They are best at being imaginative, recognizing problems, and being open-minded. Your next group is the assimilating learners. These learners learn best with lectures that start with a broad idea and then break it down into narrow concepts. This type of learner is typically very serious and likes structured reading material. They are best at planning, creating models, defining problems, and developing theories. Your third learners are the converging types. They are best at finding practical uses for ideas and theories. This type tends to be the thinkers. They want to know the why and like to conceptualize with their own experiences. They tend to work independently, but like to interact to confirm their thoughts. They succeed at solving problems, making decisions, reasoning, and being logical. Finally, your accommodating group are the people who need the hands-on experiences. They do instead of think. They are your most creative in their approach to learning and tend to ask the what-if questions and test their outcomes. They are best at getting the things done, leading, taking risks, and being adaptable as well as practical. The Kolb test is a practical way to know and understand your classroom. It's a simple test where you mark off from 1 to 4 how you would answer to a situation. Here's how it works for each style. For your divergent learners, be sure to give them tasks that allow them to approach it with an open mind. They need to be able to gather information and then execute it. They thrive in imaginative, ambiguous situations, so make sure that they have this kind of stimulation for their brain within your lessons. Your assimilating learners need to be able to analyze data. They want the facts given to them, and then they will learn best when they can decide what that data means. They like to build experiments, test theories, and ideas. So be sure to implement those. Converging learners will thrive best when they are given new opportunities and ways of thinking and doing. They love new ideas, setting goals, making decisions, and choosing the best solution for their problems or situation. And finally, again, your accommodating learners need objects. These are your tangible learners. Since they like to ask the what-if questions, they need to be given opportunities that they can manipulate the outcomes of their experiments to see if anything changes. They love to lead people in activities, so be sure to give them opportunities to lead. They tend to become very personally involved, which helps get the rest of the class involved in what you're doing. Now that we have covered the learning styles, you might be wondering, how does this all work? Well, let's take a look on how the test is given. If we are teaching a lecture with a whiteboard marker, we're probably not doing the best we can. It would be near impossible to cater to every need and learner of the classroom, but our lessons should be varied in delivery for all learners to have something to keep them engaged. A teaching method like this can be executed in a couple different ways. The first way is to use a unit technique. Make your assignments into a big unit, trying to incorporate the 7 learning styles at least once. This will give all the learners an opportunity to feel successful and show that they have mastered the material. The second option is to assign a project or piece of homework, but give 2 or 3 options on how they can complete the assignment. Make sure you choose at least one majority style for the classroom, but try mixing it up and giving them 1 or 2 so that you can reach the students of that category, but also so that the other students can figure out other strategies. In my opinion, we teach kids how to cram and not how to learn and study. I think knowing our classroom strengths by evaluating the learning styles will help redirect the classroom, and the Kolb Learning Style Inventory is one of those ways that we can evaluate our classroom. If we can teach our students to capitalize on how they learn, they will feel less pressure when a test is taken. I do believe in test anxiety, but I think a lot of that anxiety stems from the lack of confidence that students feel inside themselves. Since we cannot, as teachers, write 7 different versions of a test for all the students, this is the next best thing that we can do for them. Today, you've heard me talk about 7 different learning styles, which were visual, oral, verbal, physical, logical, social, and solitary. I also talked about a learning test conducted and structured by Kolb. Finally, I gave you simple and practical ways to implement these styles in your classroom. I hope I have set you up for success, and I appreciate your attention.